Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews, hosted by your two favourite guys who love fall. I don't know about you, but definitely the best season of the year. But without further ado, we are reviewing none other than, if you haven't figured it out, it is none other than The Fall Guy.
We don't even have the season 4.
We do. It's basically just another name for one of our other 4 seasons, but I won't get into that. Directed by David Leitch, who is probably most famously known for directing most recently Bullet Train. He also did, I think, the second Deadpool as well as Hobbs and Shaw. But most famously started out as a stuntman. So he's well, I think I've probably told you this many times, but selective hearing. Most looking at his IMDb here, he's got credits for over 80 stunts. I believe he was once a stuntman for Matt Damon, and then obviously he's made this film, which I think is quite fitting. I'll leave the plot very bare bones, but it's got Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt as the main stars of the film about a famous stuntman who's basically trying to save the film of a former attempting lover, I guess.
Yeah.
Filmed in our backyard. Not exactly our backyard. If you did think it was, we didn't give them permission, but no, Sydney. Filmed in Sydney, and it's very prominent, and it's always odd hearing our own accents.
I was about to say that.
I do love it though. I do love it.
Love always some New Zealanders and Kiwis that get thrown in there too, because they're part of our culture, and I like to see it.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know what you want to. I don't know what you want to sort of start with. But man, I had one of the most fun times I've had. In a cinema in quite some time. Yep.
If I'm
is it the best film? No, but you'll have a smile ear to ear probably the whole time.
I agree completely. And it got a few laughs out of me too, which sometimes...
I did think that was a bit odd.
Yeah.
Because it's probably the least funniest film I've seen. No, I'm kidding.
I am heavily medicated, so that might have had an effect on anyone that watches our movie reviews, I don't always laugh, even though I find things funny. It usually has to be hilarious. But this movie, I think, just had constant giggles, and that just got me over the line. I think that got me going. But man, what a fun time. This is one of the funnest movies I've seen in a long time, and it's one, for me, I'll be able to watch on repeat for the rest of my life and just enjoy that. I'll be able to sit down with some popcorn, sit down with the dog and yourself, just enjoy myself at home, and I'll watch this over and over again. This is money a Christmas movie.
I think what makes the film work is definitely, obviously, the director himself in David Leitch, like obviously being a stuntman, he really knew what he was dealing with. It is definitely a love letter to stunts, which I love because obviously with the title of the film, the Fall Guy does get named quite a bit, but it's quite ironic because it's like, these guys, they could walk down the street and no one would know them. And they're realistically probably the glue between everything in these, big blockbuster action films. They're the ones that keep it together. Not everyone's Tom Cruise. Everyone needs I don't know what his name was, a Tom Rider, where he needs a stuntman. But I think what kept it together is the film was fun. It knew exactly what it was, but the cast, it probably casted the two best possible people imaginable in the biz right now. Emily Blunt, someone who is great. We saw her in Oppenheimer, obviously recently nominated for Academy Award, but she has a lot of fun. She's got that that aura about her, she just looks like she'd be a good person to hang around with. And she shows that in the film if you've watched interviews with her or any media or stuff. But I've been very vocal on Ryan Gosling as well, where I think he's an extremely underrated actor. All you need to do is go watch, Nice Guys.
Sublime.
Barbie's a phenomenal performance. But Nice Guys, you've got First Man where he plays Neil Armstrong. He's an impeccable.
You throw it back and you got a Notebook.
Well, yeah, he's an impeccable actor. But I think what you really pick up on this film, and it's obviously shown in Barbie a little bit, but he's just got this impeccable ability to deliver line. He's got this probably the most underrated in Hollywood, the most underrated comedic timing I can think of. It seems so easy for him. You watch Will Ferrell and yes, he's funny, but it does feel very forced. He's just yelling whereas this is just subtle and I did laugh a lot in this film. My only gripe with it probably is I feel like it genuinely would have been the most like perfect, fun, amazing movie at like an hour and 40 minutes. I felt like it did. I think it clocked in a little bit over 2 hours. I did feel like, especially towards the end, it did start to drag a little bit because you kind of have a conclusion of something and then it's like, okay, well, we need to do this. And then it's like, okay, well, we need to do this. Which I kind of felt that dropped the mark a little bit for me. But overall, I had an impeccable time, and I could probably recommend this to every single person I know, and they will probably have a great time also.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything when it comes to the recommendations too. There wasn't anything that you couldn't. It wasn't content you couldn't show someone and be like, okay, you got to watch out for these kind of themes. Of course, there was some action and a little bit of violence to it, but like even a lot of that stuff wasn't over the top. This is a very highly recommendable movie for nearly anyone to watch.
Oh no, I feel like everyone will have a fun time with it.
Yeah.
Regardless of age. Like, there might be a few mild swear words in. When I say mild, I mean like, you're not your heavy profanity, things that 6-year-olds might not want 6-year-olds to hear. But
correct, yeah.
No, like it is. Come the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if this is sitting in like the funnest time I had at the theaters. And yeah, do I think it's the best or most perfect film? No, but I think it's like almost perfect in that it achieved exactly what it wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think what should come out of this is I really do hope in terms of the film lovers is they talk about stunts more. I would love to see come Oscars time. I know it did have a little bit of a comment in this, but I've been talking about this for years. Like, stunts should realistically have an Oscar category
nearly
every
everything else does.
Everything else. Well, they brought in casting this year, which makes sense because like casting a film would be impeccably hard. So if you got Oppenheimer and you've done everyone's nominated, you've done well, right? But I think stunts definitely should, and it is something that goes a bit, I guess, underseen.
Yeah.
Definitely. But obviously, yeah, right director to make it in David Leitch. Great time. It was well directed. It was like tech-wise, it probably wasn't, like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes where you watch the trailer. Like that was probably the highlight tech-wise for me watching the trailer. That like it wasn't. I say that, it's not anything that I'm like, oh, this cinematography is beautiful or anything like that. It was just perfectly enjoyable, fine movie. I did feel like the needle drops were quite funny. I'm a big Swiftie, so I loved getting a Swiftie song in a film, and especially when it's very relatable, like Crying in Your Car all too well. I can, feel that. So I did enjoy that, but no, I don't know. I can't remember what I was going to say, but
don't know. But disagree with the length of this film. Thought it was perfect, and I thought nearly every aspect of this film was great. I actually wanted more of it, to be honest. I wasn't like stopped at all. I was like, give me more of this. I want a bit of everything. And you spoke about the cinematography, and you're like, it was, maybe not the most exceptional thing. You know what? I thought it was absolutely fantastic. It was exactly what they wanted to do with this film. It had every single different kind of cinematography style, different shots, different takes, different motions. It was like the film industry all put into one. And then you actually wanted to see some of the great cinematography put into play without getting into kind of a spoiler territory, but they showed the trailer for the film. And, some certain scenes that were heard once they'd actually added in the After Effects. So when I mean the trailer, the one they're doing in the film.
Yeah.
And that stuff was absolutely unreal. You could see all the work from every single person put into this most epic scene just for this film.
No, I think probably...
I appreciate the craft.
I think,
all along the board.
I know where you're coming from. I completely disagree in terms of the cinematography for the actual film, but I think what made me appreciate the film a lot more was actually what you kind of touched on there. I know that the fake trailer I didn't really care for at all, but actually at the end of the film they did show the real stunts being done. And when you watch that happen,
Stay for the credits.
It happened straight away, so I feel like most people will be able to enjoy that. So unless you are like me or a film lover where you might watch the B-reel, like the behind the scenes, you probably don't watch that come out. Like 90% of people I feel like wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
So when you watch something like that and you're like, wow, like and it shows the stunt work. It shows them how they made that.
So much more appreciation for the.
Yeah, you appreciate what goes into making film, and that's probably why I probably enjoyed it a little bit more as well. Is because being a film lover, obviously like yourself, even it is somewhat meta in the way that that the film unravels and the way it is, which I really enjoyed. It's obviously very film sort of nodding heavy, even paying her like little quotes here and there, which I enjoyed. But there is one cameo as well, which I really enjoyed. Probably best performance from them anytime in the last 15 years, considering it's probably the only thing good they've done. But it's we won't get into that.
But talking about the performances, I know you touched on it a little bit, but and you said one of the greatest aspects was obviously the comedic timing, but I loved how real it felt. It didn't, because like good acting sometimes doesn't seem like acting at all. And I felt like this is what it was. It was just like beautifully written and beautifully shot, and they've just put like Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling into a movie, and they're like, all right, make it. And they're having a ball. They're having a great time.
It was seamless. They had some fantastic chemistry, and to be honest, I
mean, it's hard not to with Ryan Gosling.
Well, I was actually going to say I haven't probably seen many. I can't think of many films where Emily Blunt's in where she's played like I can't think of them off the top of my head. So like there probably is, but like love interest and things like that. But when I really think of like maybe he's just the nicest guy ever and extremely easy to get along with, which I've heard.
Yeah.
But like when you look at every film he's been in, he does have impeccable chemistry with everyone. Like I think of Emma Stone. Like I actually thought they were in love in La La Land, and it ruined my life. But then we talk about Barbie. He had fantastic chemistry with Margot.
He just seems like a great bloke, doesn't he?
Oh, he's probably one of my favorite working actors, just because like everything I watch him in, I have a good time, and I think he's very like underrated. Definitely the best Ryan. I'm looking at you, Reynolds. Stop playing the same role every film. But anyway,
he doesn't have much
range.
Yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say, but
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like it ever just came out and he's like, we improv'd like 70% of this film, and I'll be like, that I fully believe that. I fully believe he got up there and said lines, and people were like, this is the best thing I've ever heard, and we all agree. I just feel like he's just got that. He's got the mojo. He's got the work. He's got the comedic timing, and he's just a beautiful
I do think he somewhat carried this film in a way with just how likable his character is.
Score?
Because when I see it, it was.
I don't remember which.
Well, I think it more utilised a soundtrack more than a score. It had a lot of obviously needle drops with musical choices in terms of songs, which
I'm sure there was.
I enjoyed, but no, it was like if you don't notice it, it's probably usually just a good thing, really.
Yeah,
it's not like Interstellar where it emphasizes everything and makes you fucking cry like a baby. But no, I applaud this film, and I recommend it to almost everyone. If you're watching this, you've probably seen it. I think it's been out in America for a few days now, and it came out yesterday here. And we've just been obviously busy and saw it when we can, and I'm happy we did.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be disappointed that I watched this film for sure.
No.
Might actually beat my number one for the year.
Okay, shut up.
Yeah, some people go to some people go to film to see absolutely epic stories told and worlds imagined, and that's one of the great things about cinema. But one of the best parts about it is pure enjoyment, and that's why like Wonka for me. I've rewatched it.
We're ending this right now.
I've rewatched it a couple of times.
I'm telling you right now, come the end of the year, you'll probably have a fun time with this, and you'll probably watch it again. But you will not remember a thing.
I don't think we give movies that are just enjoyable enough credit. That's all I'm saying.
I absolutely do. I do it every year.
Well, I can't remember what your top 10 was, but I need to have a look at it again because I reckon you've got all serious movies in there.
No, I had Wonka.
I did have Wonka. Yeah, Wonka's great. I think I know my top 5.
It doesn't
anyway.
It doesn't tie Dune's shoelaces, this film.
Watch the film. It's good.
No, I do recommend it. If you have seen it, comment below what you think. If you haven't, go see it, then let us know. Subscribe for more of our content. Give it a like, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.